Welcome to the Freedive Café, episode 31 with Gus Kreivenas. My name is Donny. I'm the host of the Freedive Café. The Freedive Café is long-form interviews that get into the backstories, the training, the challenges, the passions, the fears, and personal philosophies of the world's freedivers. The Freedive Café website can be found at freedivecafé.com. There you can find all the episodes and the show notes for the episodes and the blog. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing through the website. Or if you're using an iPhone, you can use the built-in podcast app, Apple Podcasts, to find and subscribe to the show. And if you're using another kind of phone, I would suggest using the Stitcher app, which is my favorite. If you're in the market for the world's best freediving buoys and lanyards, then you cannot do better than to be free equipment. As you probably know, Alexander Bubenchikov and myself have been running this special offer exclusively for listeners to the show. He kindly offered to pay for the shipping on any orders anywhere in the world. I don't make any money from this. I just want to support what I think is amazing gear, and Alexander has been kind enough to throw you guys this bone so we can access it faster and cheaper. If you're interested, go to 2Be Free Equipment. That's the number 2, Be Free Equipment. And when you order something, in the order notes, write Freedive Café, free shipping. And that's all you have to do. The rest is done for you. And I forgot to mention that's 2befreeequipment.com. So I've had some people asking about the Q&A section already, and perhaps I didn't make it clear the last time I talked about it. This is not for asking the guests questions. It's just for asking me. So I guess it's targeted more towards newcomers to the sport, beginners who have some more basic questions. If there's a question that I can't answer, then yes, I may outsource that to a guest, a previous guest on the show, or somebody who I'm connected with. But generally, it will just be me answering those questions myself. So bear that in mind when you do think of questions to send in for the Q&A section. If you would like to ask the guest questions, that's something you can do. You can, first of all, sign up for Patreon at patreon.com/freedivecafe. And then you'll be notified of which guests are coming on, and you can ask them questions. And also closer to the time, I'll also put out some messages on Facebook when an opportunity like that comes up as well. So let's get straight into the juicy stuff already. Today's episode is a continuation of yesterday's episode. So it's Gus Kreivenas, part 2. If you haven't listened to part 1 yet, go to the website freedivecafé.com and look for episode 30. You can find it there, or search for episode 30 on your favorite podcast app or provider. I will just remind you one more time, there is some strong language in this episode, so beware for sensitive ears. I hope you enjoy listening to our conversation as much as I enjoyed having it. Let's get on with the rest of Gus Kreivenas. Let's dive. Let's just touch on the yoga again first, because you said that yoga was part of the reason for your fast and successful progress in freediving, both on the physical and the mental plane. What kind of yoga tradition did you or do you follow, and how do you integrate that into your freediving training and your life in general? Would you say it's more like a purely a physical practice, or do you have a more spiritual dimension with that too?
Okay, I must say that I've started purely physical, with physical ideas. You know, my idea was just like, it's a machine, it's a body. it needs to move. It needs to move forward, backward. It has to be able to move all directions. You know, easy. and so on. If it's not moving, you need to do something to be able to do it. So I've approached it in a very easy way. Also just started to, let's say, read as much as possible about it, to try to understand, first of all, why, what I was feeling in the classroom was not matching what I've been told about it, or what people are saying about it everywhere, and what is being written about in some, in Facebook, and people are just keep saying this and that, and I go to the classroom and I don't feel it. It's like, fuck, it's a torture. And everybody's talking about this peace and harmony and this and that. I'm like, fuck off, it's a torture. I hated it so badly at the beginning, because it was very hard for me. And I was just going there very, very physical. So just go there and to torture my body a little bit. So this is how it started. But as I kept reading more and more literature, I started to understand, the idea of letting go of any, idea of progression, just focusing on what it is, and accepting of where you are, and just slowing down and focusing. Like for me, the big one was focusing on creating space for practice, And as soon as I've started, I really, I went, fuck it, I'm not going to go to any classrooms. So I've just stopped going to anywhere, and I've just stayed at home, and I started practice by myself, And I've just read some literature and decided, I took a small routine, Surya Namaskar, and I've just I've started to do it in a very dedicated way. Every day I was just waking up and I would do Surya Namaskar in a very soft and easy way, and I just kept doing it, and I kept reading, and I would add a few exercises, a little stretch routine to open this, to open that, and then slowly I started to dig the philosophy behind it, about non-harming yourself, about even simple things like, in Pradipika they write about that, yoga is not for the person that goes to sleep very late, and yoga is not for the person that works very hard and then, or a person that drinks and smokes, or a person that, so you start to understand that there's many things that we do in our life, work ourselves to death continuously, and trying to be so effective and efficient, and creating so many tasks that we overload ourselves like crazy, So to really feel the benefit of the practice, you need to create space. First of all, you need to give some room for yourself to rejuvenate and recover, so you have to rest a lot. If you are already in a particular situation, and I was like completely, the way I feel it now, I was completely destroyed and burned out. So I needed to change my lifestyle, and this is the hardest decision always, because we are all so connected to what we do, attached to our material, I know how to say that, our, to what we got, cars, houses,
our material possessions,
jobs,
our
yes, our material possessions,
external life,
social life and social status and so on. And, doing these changes in your life, just taking a decision to step back and to do less is a big one. It's like really hard. And I've started to do it. I've just started to do less and less and less and less, and focus more on just doing as much as I can, but in a very passionate and quality way. let's say.
Focusing more on the doing a small number of things with quality rather than doing a large number of things in a
Exactly,
bad
driving
way.
yourself nuts.
Yeah.
Driving yourself nuts, really. And I haven't persuaded any particular yoga tradition. You know, I would just see it as hatha yoga, you know, but like now my latest understandings is like yoga is yoga, you know. Uh, I didn't try to persuade one school or one idea. Like for me, yoga is something very personal. It's a very, intimate process, you know, of focusing on myself. That's all, you know. So I just dedicating some time to be aware of where I am, who I am, you know, what I do, and do some practice with my body, let's say. So, and through trying to do particular exercises, you know, and I experiment a lot. I'm not gonna say that I'm just like this dedicated person that only does this or that. No. I haven't chosen anything. I'm just like really open-minded, experimenting, and very aware and sensitive about how it affects my body, how it affects my mind. You know, as soon as I do something and my mental state is changing, you know, I can start to see the difference in how I communicate with people, you know, decisions I'm making, how my life is going, you know, I change stuff and I just experiment and play with it. There is no particular tradition. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I would grow faster, but then what I have discovered that I have many yoga teachers and yoga practitioners, you know, coming to study with me. You know, I'm in freediving, you know, and I find so many issues they have, and mainly related to this, maybe sometimes taking things too serious, you know, taking things too for granted and attaching to it too much, and then in a way subconsciously they're already sabotaging their own ideas about things.
Yeah, you know, people are like some people move into like yoga because they want to escape this like world of material possessions and this obsession with material things, but there's a real risk that people can actually become so attached to their yoga practice and how it's supposed to be done, and the rules of their school or their tradition, that they objectify it to the point where there's no flexibility with it anymore, and it just becomes another object that they want to possess and they want to protect, and then when they can't let go of it, you know?
This. Exactly that, you know, and it's a continuous, endless game, you know. There's like you can convince yourself into anything you like, you know, and
for sure, man. Yeah, especially in the yoga, because it's so you know,
exactly,
it's like the onion that you keep peeling back the layers, you know, and
exactly,
it can be layers and layers of bullshit, really, you know. It mostly is.
Exactly, exactly. One of the books that I read in the beginning was where one guy, there was this professor that was writing about, I think it's called The Truth About Yoga. And that one phrase stuck in my mind, you know, that there's, you know, you cannot lie about yoga. Like there is no way to lie about it because you cannot fucking prove it. And you can talk bullshit forever, you know?
And I've been, you know, I've taught yoga for a few years, and, you know, I stopped teaching classes, you know, like the regular walk-in classes for asana, because I realized that I just wasn't doing what I felt was what yoga was for me, which is not just a series of physical exercises. I'd studied the philosophy. I have maybe understanding the deeper dimension of it, But people that were walking into my classroom were not looking for that. They were looking to get a nice butt, you know. So I'd find myself
Exactly.
talking about like trying to like
Exactly.
overcomplicate what essentially is like a forward bend, or you know, a stretch in this direction and a stretch in that direction, and trying to philosophize about something that's, you know, it's really kind of glorified stretching in many cases.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So actually, you know, I kind of put that. I now teach like one-on-one and some workshops and stuff like that. So I guess that kind of like ties in with what you were saying about the way that you teach freediving now, which is having a more intimate connection with the student and being able to, you know, communicate back and forth with them rather than just
Exactly.
repeat the same kind of material to the persons over and
No,
over
no,
again.
it's like you have this material that you have this responsibility. First of all, you know, somebody comes to you and they want. Okay, let's start from this. You know that there is a different type of people. You know, somebody comes in and they just want to have fun, and someone comes in and they want to take it to this level and to that level. And somehow for me, it became at this point that I choose the projects, you know, and I see somebody that is more motivated. You know, somebody just needs a fucking picture, you know, let's be honest, you know, and I'm not interested in that, you know, and I leave it to someone else that is doing, you know, pictures. Like, I mean pictures in terms of like, come here, look at this, smart, okay, here we go. And I'm like a little bit more focused on to passing on particular experience. So what I've noticed at some stage of my progress in freediving, you know, that anything I was saying, you know, I could tell by how they move and how they look of that they don't feel what I feel, you know. So I realized that, you know, me saying relaxation is completely different of someone, you know. So, and I was like, I want to pass it on. I want to pass on what I feel, because I feel that it's so beautiful, that what I found in freediving is so insane. I get so much pleasure, so much passion, love, energy, you know. It's like crazy, you know, and I feel that many people are lacking it. And I'm like, okay, I need to pass it on. And then I start to try to find ways on how to do that. And yeah, the only way to be able to pass on these, let's say, sensitive details is by connection, by face to face, by in a way. There is one theory, you know, that water contains a memory, you know, and that through water you can feel energy also, you know, and pass on things at the same time. So just being in the same space in the water, you can
conduct the information better. Almost.
Exactly. So sometimes you don't even need to fucking talk. So you just ask person to watch, and you try to behave in a particular way, and then people go like, "Fuck," you know, there was an amazing session, you know. I managed to, and you can see that person is picking up little details without you even saying anything, you know. And at the end of the session, a person approaches you and they would voice their discoveries, you know, and you can then hear and see that they got it, you know, and you go like, okay, so yes, this is what it is, you know. So try to memorize that. We repeat a few times, and then you know that the person has a skill or ability, or, you know, it's like driving a push bike, you know. If a person really learned it, you know, you cannot unlearn. You know, it's there. It's in your system, and you know that the person has something, you know, and which in other cases you just loads of words and bullshit on paper, and or in any other form where people, you know, don't remember, and they haven't got the idea, what it is. And yes, face-to-face connection, you just so more likely to pass it on, to be able to share. And I think that my main driving force in teaching was to share, this what I feel about freediving.
Let me read something I read in an interview you did after breaking the national records in 2013. I'm not sure if it's still relevant now. Let's find out. Mm-hmm. You said, during my training for the 103 no limits record, I was several times in the situation where clear analytical assessment of my own mental condition was the only way forward, and finding out my subconscious phobias and fears helped me to avoid any delay in progress of training. So it's these subconscious phobias and fears that I'm interested in. Like, how, because I feel like for me personally, this is almost something that that is holding me back in my diving, because I feel that I'm completely relaxed as I can be, but that there's still like a layer underneath that is influencing what is happening, and I can't access that layer, that subconscious layer. Do you have anything to say about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, I had a very big realization quite recently about phobias and fears related to freediving. And one of the big ones is that people are trying to conquer the fears. Yes, conquer something like to override certain things. And what I have discovered is that you don't need to fucking override anything. When you are ready, and you know it. Is some things you can just do, and you can do it. And people are taking it to because of this trend that everybody keeps talking about: override this, override that, beat your fears, this and that. But do you know where the fear is coming from? Maybe it's something that you should not be overriding, and you should be sorting out, so it's about being sensitive enough to understand where it's coming from, and in many cases, it's going to be strictly, if we talk about water, if we talk about sea, if we talk about different environment that we are putting our body into, we take for granted this process of adaptation. Yes. So we just assume that the body will do something to adapt. But my question is, maybe we can, maybe we can get ahead of it and do actively something to develop a skill to be able to submerge our body in the water, you see? And so the body is able to take everything that is coming. So now I will tell you where it's coming from. Basically, what I have discovered, that equalization in itself, compensation of pressure in the body, is actually a very complicated process. Yes, and there is many parts of our body that has sensors for pressure. Yes, that when we are creating, let's say, a low pressure environment or high pressure environment, the body is reacting and it's creating particular sensation. And so basically, sometimes what we feel is just an expression of body saying, fuck, stop it. You're going to fucking destroy it. Yes. And there is ears. Yes. So we have the vestibular apparatus. Yes. Inside of our inner ear. Yeah. So it's quite important. It's responsible for coordination and other things, I've seen some people fucking up the inner ear, and the consequences are really bad, And so when we come close to that something may happen to it, the body reacts. Also, we have an area, let's say a throat. Yes, the part trachea. Yes,
trachea. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. That is sensitive to pressure also. And as soon as there is a change of pressure in there, we know it. But not everybody can read it. Yes. And there is sensations, everybody is saying, oh, lungs, you cannot feel pressure. There is no sensors. There is no sensors on lungs. There is sensors on muscles that are surrounding the lungs. So your spine, your intercostals, yes? So basically that is being affected by pressure. And the reaction, the change in the sensations in your body is related to the reaction of your body, that your body is tense or the muscle is not flexible enough, and as a consequence, you get a reaction. You get somebody feeling afraid to continue, to keep going, to do something. So in a way, if you keep doing that, you condition, your body will adapt in one or the other form. Yes, but maybe we can be a little bit more focused on what we need to do and develop the skills that we need to develop. Because why I say this, because there is so many concepts and ideas on how to develop the freediving. I meet some people and they go like, I don't stretch, who needs stretching, who gives a fuck about stretching, I just do this, and I'm like, okay, maybe this guy he has a predisposition, he has a particular flexibility. Nobody even knows what price he's paying for that adaptation in the long term, and only because he's screaming and shouting, that he doesn't do. Maybe he does something completely else that is putting him into the position where he's super mega extra relaxed and he doesn't fucking need it.
Yeah.
And
doesn't
it's
even
fine.
Realize he's doing it.
Exactly. And it's fine. But he goes out and he brings it into a public and he keeps, let's say,
tells the students that stretching is a waste of time.
Yeah, praising the idea that you don't need to do stretching, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that. And I'm like, guys, stop, stop this nonsense. Come on, let's look at the things as it fucking is. We are going down into the sea. We are affected by pressure. Yes. What type of acclimatization there can be? There is a mammalian dive reflex. Yes, that is related to our breath hold, but at the same time, the vasoconstriction, yes, is helping out the blood shift, yes, and so in this way we don't feel the pressure on our chest, yes, but also the flexibility, so of our diaphragm and our intercostal muscles and other muscles that are related to all this. And as the latest, let's say, science explains, basically all the muscles in your body, because there's kinetic chains that are interlinked through your body and are influencing. So basically somebody having an issue with an ankle could be potentially affecting the flexibility of his diaphragm, and then because the diaphragm is not flexible enough, he feels pressure on his chest because there is no range of movement and we keep going. And yes, you can rely on the blood shift, but what happens in the situation where the blood shift fails? I mean, and everybody knows that under conditions of stress, panic, not stress, because there is different types of stress, and I'm talking about panic. As soon as a person panic, there's some changes in the body, and that reflex that we rely on is exactly not working anymore. Yes, and so if there is no flexibility, we are putting ourselves in a very strange situation. that usually is finalized with barotrauma. Yes, and then people coming up with a different way and type, I don't know, of explaining this and that and the other. And I'm like, guys, no, not flexible enough, too deep. This is it. There's nothing to explain. What do you want to explain? We are, and especially at the level where we are in not even deep. I'm talking about we're not doing deep diving. There's people that are squeezing themselves, below 40 meters, and keep coming up with a different type of explanation and excuse. But then if you have a look at the body is in cramp, and we're talking about full body flexibility, and also a breathing muscle flexibility. So coming back to your question about fears, I've noticed that the idea is that the fears are for a reason in many cases, and my latest, like one of the dives that I did, 200 meters in constant weight, ended up with a blackout. Yes. And it was the first blackout in the sea that I ever had in my whole career, basically. Basically, in the whole career that I've been freediving in the sea, I blacked out once, and it was recently. And it was when I override my fears. And this is when I was like, I needed to try it, that we were testing some theories about a particular technical aspect, of freediving. And deep inside, I knew that it's not going to fucking work. But I was like, okay, I need to try, I need to test it. And what happened was that as soon as I, decided that I'm going to do a deep dive, and I will do it in not the way that I'm used to, my body went into this complete shock, I was like, I could not believe what was happening to my body. And because of my sensitivity, I was like very aware of it. And I was like, fuck, what is happening to me, And I could not control it. And I tried and I breathed and I meditated and I did it. And no, it's just like, screaming to me, fuck, what are you doing, dude? Don't do this. And I override it and I had the result. And the result was I blacked out, Yes. And I was like, shit, and then, of course, I got back to my old routines and I did what I usually do. And I succeeded and I did the dive, yes. But the point was about the fears, that it doesn't need to be overrated. We need to work on developing the skills that are very important. And so what can I say about the skills is that very often people are somehow, we want to be very fast and basically now, and maybe sometimes choosing the easiest things to train, like going, yeah, but I don't have opportunity to do this, so I do that, and I'm like, I'm not blaming, just for the record. I'm not blaming. I'm sure that sometimes people are in a situation where they cannot choose. I mean, they can't choose, but the price is so big. For instance, I don't know, to be able to train something, you have to, I don't know, fucking sell your car. Of course, he's going to choose to do something else, and he will say, like, I don't fucking need it so badly, so I will just go my way, easy way, slow way, or whatever way, or I will just read up on the internet, or do that instead of really trying to get, I don't know, a professional help. Yes, but like really, really qualified, because there is quite a few people around the world, that knows the topic very well. The sport is very young. And at the moment, what I've noticed, that a lot of, that there is this, the wish, to expand the sport And so everybody is trying to just issue certificates, build more instructors with less and less experience, you know? And of course that brings a consequence, and a consequence is not knowing. And not knowing some little fine details, you know, that may completely change the game, you know? And in many cases, you don't need to you know, overcome fears. You need to build confidence. And the confidence is growing through developing skills, you know, developing skills that are allowing you to do something at ease. And it's not complicated. It's not rocket science. You know, if you can do this, you can do that. As a consequence, you can do this. You know, so this is how I see it. Like you know, why this season is so important for me, because every season I'm getting deeper and deeper, and every season I'm putting more and more emphasis on how easy everything is. You know, how not complicated, and if you're focusing on the right things, you always get the right results, you know? So with fears is, in many, like, it's like, I will tell you, if to take it from the perspective of percentage, yes, I think that the people that are working with their fears is like 5% of them really have these issues, you know? Like real issues, like a fear of water because of this and that, because they have this or that experience, you know?
Some past experience, yeah.
Exactly. And most of the people in reality, they just don't have the skill. Maybe their progression is too fast, you know? And you know, who tells how fast a person has to progress? Who is the person to say, like, you should be doing this and this and that time? Bullshit. It takes as long as it takes, you know? So it takes as long as it takes. And most of the people just need to step back and to focus on the skills, developing the skills, really developing the right skills, the skills that are required. And for that, you need to first to diagnose. You know, you need to know what to develop. You need to know what to fix. Like when you go to doctor, you know, doctor gives you a diagnosis. Yes, like if you are sick, something. This is very similar. You know, you go to doctor and you say like, I'm sick. You know, and in many cases, the doctor can tell you what you need to do in order to get healthy. You know, and in many cases, a doctor is so qualified that he can tell, you know, what you are sick from, even without you saying it, you know. And in some cases, the person comes in and he fucking already knows what he's sick from. Like it's a sarcasm, you know, like, oh, doctor, I have this and this, and I'm sick from this and that. And doctor goes like, yes, yeah. And the doctor goes, no, I don't think so. And he goes like, yes, I know better. I have this experience and that experience, and I know very well. And I'm like, well, if you know why you are fucking here, you know, of course you don't. So the point is that in many cases, a big percentage of people are just undertrained. That's all. You know, it's just a lack of training. That's all. Like if it's always to really understand what you need to train. And as soon as, like, I will tell you, because I have experience in seeing people progressing, like, you know, 30, 40 meters in 1 month, you know, it's a big jump. Yeah. It's a big jump. Huge, in pressure. It's a massive jump, but it's a jump made with no stress. You know, there is no squeezes, there is no blackouts, there is no mega stress and so on. Easy, soft, gentle progression. Yes, hard work. Bang, bang, bang. And they get it. How? Because there is already skills. there is a particular flexibility, there is particular awareness, there is particular sensitivity, there is particular control, technical aspects, you know. People have predispositions and they can progress in a particular way, you know, and others don't. And they're not going to progress. And maybe they are going to take to progress the same 40 meters 4 years. And it's not a bad thing. And you shouldn't blame an instructor or this or that or the other. It's going to be related to their life habits, to their habitual patterns, you know, it's all related to that. It's simple. And there's nobody to blame. There's nowhere to run, you know.
Yeah, no shortcuts.
It's just no fucking shortcuts at all. It's just accepting of what it is, you know, and working hard on the things you think you need to work. Now, I have so many cases that I could discuss, you know, but there's people get stuck, you know. People get stuck because they take things too serious. You know, people get stuck that don't take things too serious.
Yeah, don't take things seriously enough, yeah.
Yes, and so you never know, and you cannot fucking predict. And it's just taking it one step at a time, enjoying the whole fucking process. You know, it's really just chill the fuck out, you know, do your shit, you know, and the mainly is be fucking honest with yourself, how much you are ready to invest, you know, and don't be deluded and don't be, you know, go like, oh, I want to be a fucking world champion, you know, but I cannot get my ass out of the bed in the morning. You know, I want to be a world champion, but I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that, or this is too hard, or this is not safe, or You know, I'm not talking against safety or whatever, you know, but sometimes some things, you know, are to be done, you know, and if you talk with people, there's people have these how do you call them? Superstitions. You know, when I'm talking about safety, I don't mean that it's not safe. It's just people are taking safety to a different level. You know, there's people that go fucking insane. You know, and I'm like, okay, so stop fucking doing freediving if you don't, you know, really, because for me, freediving is not more dangerous than a fucking, you know, driving a push bike. You know, you people, you know, if we talk about statistics, you know, there's so many people every day getting hurt from driving a push bike, you know, and nobody gives a shit about it. One free diver twisted his ankle and everybody is going fucking mad.
Shut down the whole sport, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? You know, guys. You know, so it's just being I don't know, common sense. I know that we cannot use it in these days, you know, but a little bit of common sense.
Well, I think
super easy, very relaxed.
The best message that you gave there was chill the fuck out. You know, I think everybody, whether they're instructors, whether they're students, regardless of their goals and their ambitions in freediving, would definitely benefit from chilling the fuck out a little bit.
Exactly. It's like, it's not so fucking serious, guy.
Well, I mean, it's really like, it's a big, I mean, it's adults who basically go in the water and swim up and down all day. You know, it's like playing. It's like
play. Exactly, play. But okay, for some people, there is they have goals. Yes, but if you know, everybody is like, now we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have so many quotes, you know, about life. Everybody is following it. I'm sure everybody keeps reading these quotes, and many of the quotes is about, you know, chilling the fuck out, you know, not taking it too serious, being present, being in the moment, enjoying what you are doing. If you don't enjoy what you do, fuck it, quit, go and do something else, you know. But if you are enjoying it, don't rush it. Take your time, you know. And of course, sometimes we are doing some things, you know. I'm not being this naive, you know, hypocrite. Can we call that? You know, like I mean, sometimes it is important. Yes, some people have goals and it's related to obligations. Yes, and there's even in some cases some money involved and so on, and investments. And yes, we do strange things. Sometimes we risk a little bit. Yes, but the point is to be able to take a responsibility for it and to stop blaming everybody else for it around you. And this is what's happening all the time. Okay, you are doing a little bit of free diving, playing around. You want to take it a little bit serious, fucking take it, but stop fucking whinging about it and stop, really, enjoy it. Have fun, bang, bang, you did it. You haven't done it, okay, cool. But don't, people driving themselves mad, really mad. I've seen very, very, very strange things in my career, and you just go like, whoa, okay. Sometimes it's like this. So coming back maybe to fears, don't be afraid. Just do a little bit more training, focus on developing some skills. And the best skills that we can develop is sensitivity and awareness and relaxation, So basically, I think that these three skills, they're taking an ability to learn to a whole different level, relaxation, it's a key. So if we are focused, if we are relaxed, and if we are sensitive, we can develop new patterns. We can find things, and achieve the goals we want to achieve. But it's just being aware, being relaxed, working on that through what? Through for me, it's a meditation. For me, it's breathing exercises, pranayama. I work with my body, I'm talking about physical work. I'm go to the gym, I'm running, I'm cycling, I'm swimming, I'm climbing mountains. I do this and that and the other, and that makes me stronger. And at the same time, more aware and connected to my body, So, and the more I'm connected, the more I'm present of each part of my body, the more sensitive I am, and I can notice things, and then you can realize stuff, because a lot of answers to me come from subconscious. I realize some things. I call it remember, So just remember that suddenly I remember that I need to do this, and I do it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it works, and this is how I try to approach it. I try not to take it too serious. At the same time, it's very serious, but not too serious. It's serious.
just the right amount of seriousness.
Yes, I can be very strong in terms of let's say discipline in the sea, but from time to time I fuck around and I scream and yell and shout crazy shit, and but at the same time, like, I'm very focused on particular details, and if I dive, I go with a particular goal, and I do it, and I'm look for certain things, and there's always learning, this crazy massive curve of learn every day on a daily basis. And it's just, I don't know, I cannot even call it work. It's a pure pleasure, continuously developing yourself and helping others to grow, to learn, to understand things about themselves, about, changing patterns, changing decisions, goals and stuff. It's just like insane process. So don't be afraid.
All right, Gus, let's wind things down. I'm gonna ask you the last kind of like traditional Freedive Cafe closing questions. Do you have a morning ritual? Is like, do you have to wake up and do things in a certain way? Is there a process that you have to go through to start your day?
Yeah. I have to go to pee every time when I get out of the way. No, I try to do all my practice before I take any liquids or food. So this is something that I do. I don't know.
You mean like your stretching and yoga practice? This kind of thing?
Yes. Breathing, stretching, meditation. I do that before I take anything into my body.
Why do you not drink something before you do practice?
I'm sure that there is a reason why. Because I've read about it many years ago. But now I cannot tell you. I'm not gonna. I just feel like I feel better, So there is a particular practice that I do, and after that I go to toilet, I shit, and then I take liquids, and then I would have a nice breakfast. Yes.
I'm sure the listeners are going to be delighted with that detailed account of your bathroom journey in the morning.
Yeah, but this is quite important, I think. Absolutely,
regular shit. I gotta see. I do it differently. I gotta pee. I gotta have a tea or a coffee. It depends, and then I gotta shit, and then I do my practice. So.
Oh wow. Yeah, but I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. This is the point. It's just something that I do, and it's from the past experience. Sometimes for instance, I wake up and then I have to quickly do something, and then I would drink tea and and then I remember that I need to do my stuff. So sometimes I break this rule. But in general. And especially when I come closer to my goals, I'm like more focused. This is what I do. There is this particular routine that I do. By the way, you asked me about traditions. I follow a few things. I'm really a big fan of Vipassana. It's a meditation tradition, and I try to apply it to my yoga practice. So basically, I approach my yoga practice for awareness, and scanning, focusing on the breath and focusing on the body. Like everything I do, I try to be as present as possible and as aware as possible. So I think this is something, if talking about traditions. And then there's this. It's now called Apnea Yoga Athletics, but then it used to be called Apnea Yoga System that I follow.
Sorry, what is this? It's a
Apnea Yoga System. It's yes.
Sounds complicated.
Yes. It's a guy from Russia. His name is Alexander Dudov, and basically is a dedicated practitioner, and he collected a lot of stuff and has a lot of experience and practice. And he combined some exercises, so like morning routines, like stretching this, stretching that, strengthening this, strengthening that.
Is that something that you can find online if the listeners are interested in exploring that?
I think so, yes. Especially Russian speaking, for sure. English speaking, I don't know, maybe soon in the future. But there is an amazing Start Set 1. It's called Start Set 1 that I love. And in most of the cases, especially when I come closer to I do that very, how to say that, diligently. Yes. So I try to follow that. So it's wake up, try to empty, then do that, try to empty again, and then start my fluids, then a small pause, then food. Something like that. This would be my morning.
Do you get a chance to read a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I read consistently.
Right. Do you have a book or an author that you would like to recommend to the listeners?
Yes. 40 Rules of Love by Elif. I think that this is an insane book, and it's like a Bible for Elif Shafak. Yes, it's a Turkish writer, Elif Shafak, and the book is called 40 Rules of Love. I've read it recently, and I think it's an insane write-up from the perspective of, like, from all the perspectives, I must say. Even the way it's been written is just insane. I'm sure that everybody's going to understand it and take it to their own level. But for me, it was a very great finding. So far, I recommend that to a few people, and everyone is very impressed. It's not related to freediving at all.
Right, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
there's not much out there that is related to freediving, so open to all kinds.
There is, if related to freediving, I would recommend to read Federica Mana, The Manual of Breathing.
Right, yeah.
That's and by this guy Stig Abel Severinsen. Yes, Breviology. I must say that the Breviology, and I'm not, is just, there is some things that are very basic and so on, and like maybe written in a very particular way, but I found some nuggets of gold in there, and it's affecting my breathing up till today. So both of these books are the biggest influence to how I breathe up and what I do with my breathing. So maybe Vipassana, this Breviology book and Manual of Breathing are quite big ones, like you can learn a lot from it. But for sure, I'm sure that we need a guide to interpret some things and so on, and maybe the way I found the nuggets, someone else is not gonna see it, I'm sure. But it's quite, you can find some interesting things in there.
Yeah, I'll put all of those in the show notes for the listeners. I would love to read Federico Mana's book, but it seems like there's no digital copy right now. There's no ebook, so it's really hard for me to get a hold of.
I think it was because maybe it was in Russian. But it's not. I think it's not. I've seen like copied, like pictured.
Yeah, not like
someone was saying. Yeah,
version,
no, not official. No.
Yeah,
no.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, because there's such a small community. Obviously, like I want to pay for anybody, especially considering I've spoken to 100 freedivers. So I don't want to like steal something of theirs by accident.
Okay, if you come to the hub, I will give you a book.
Right.
I'm breathing to you. Because I have a copy of Federica Mana book. So
yeah, I'll definitely come at some point. I think in maybe next year. Is it good conditions this time of the year in Dahab?
I think fucking amazing actually. I'm quite surprised that it's like this now. It's the end of January. I was still taking sun. I'm sunbathing. The water temperature is around 22. It's chilly, because in Dahab is
it's the same here, man. It's like 22 degrees. Yeah.
Windy. In the air temperature is similar. Sometimes it gets to 26 at the moment. So you can really find a place where there is no wind and you can burn your skin. So I'm very happy, and it's not warm enough so I can do some exercises and running and this and that outside, and you don't get overheated. So I think from the perspective of training, like serious training, conditions now are really favorable, because usually when you come here, when it's hot, you lose a lot of liquids very easily. You really lose energy very fast. So you come in Dahab, long-term training in Dahab, you have to be very, very accurate about, what you eat, how much supplements you take, and, how much fluids you take, and how much time you spend in the sun and water and things like that, So at the moment, I feel it's super cool, amazing.
Yeah, I hope to get there at some point. It won't be very soon, but it won't be in the too distant future either. So Gus, what are your plans for the future? Any dreams? Any plans to take over the world?
Yeah, fuck it, world records, bang, bang, bang.
Nice.
I want. I know that I will do one. I don't know when.
Just not when, yeah. Okay.
Yes, but there is a goal.
I'm gonna do one too, so
Yeah. We can do it together if you.
We'll make it happen.
No, I'm very dedicated and focused, and will continue my training and invest all the energy and time. Keep developing. This season is gonna be I want to maybe dedicate more to mastery of some aspects, So maybe a few national records. But I'm not gonna make big jumps this season, just to condition myself for the future. But I want to perform in vertical blue, and I would like to go there and perform in a very smooth way, let's say, to be a smooth operator, to come in, big smiles, nice numbers, nothing too crazy, but very controlled, let's say. And then in the next years, let's see. So now we are planting the seeds. We have planted a lot of seeds, and now slowly the results are coming in. And with each year, for me, is just continuing to impress people with, let's say, stable progression in performance. Just gradual, continuous, stable progress, as usual. And let the people be judge of our performances.
Well, yes. There's a lot of people thousands of people are going to listen to this episode probably. So when you become world famous and you're living on your 700-meter yacht, don't forget where it started, Gus. Okay, it was all a Freedive Café.
No problem at all.
Because I've got a good feeling about you, man. I think you're gonna go far.
Yes, me too. And if you want to do the world records also, no problem.
Sure. Can I go second?
No, you can even go first. We can swap. Yes. I'm not a greedy person. I just need to do my shit. And I'm not even chasing a record, let's say. I'm just doing my shit. I like to train. I really enjoy what I'm doing. I like time in the water. I like working with people. It's just, living the dream, I would say. So, this is what is in my head, and I know that the world record or whatever record is just a consequence. Sooner or later it's going to happen, when, but who knows? Sooner better than later.
Yeah. Well, there's no rush, man. I mean, you're still young and,
Yes, exactly. But then I know that there's a lot of guys out there, strong potential, very dedicated and so far. And, I'm really enjoying this even competitive atmosphere, the people are doing their best, and trying to look for ways to perform and share. And, I love it. I love this game.
Nice. Well, genuinely very excited for your future prospects. I think you have a really good attitude towards this whole free diving thing, and I wish you all the best, man. I wish you as much success as can possibly come to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk a little bit. I hope you're gonna cut out all the things where I make no sense.
95% of this is going straight in the trash can. Don't worry. It's gonna be like a.
Okay,
I'm gonna
that's
make
cool.
it like
So
a 5-minute excerpt.
yeah, the shortest one, the shortest of the shortest.
Yeah. No, this is this is going to be one of our more epic interviews, but I'm going to probably keep about 95% of it. So
Wow. Okay, so I'm happy to be here, happy to share in the future anytime. More than welcome. We'll be always happy to have a little chat. And wish you all the best, a lot of success, and I hope the Freedive Café is gonna just get super big, and in the future, because I can see that the market is growing, this little niche, little sport is expanding like crazy lately, and so I hope that it's gonna reach the levels that will meet all your expectations and more, so good luck to you too, guys.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna, the whole purpose behind the Freedive Cafe is to create a resource for freedivers,
to get inspired and
hours,
so on.
hundreds, possibly hundreds of hours of the world's top freedivers just talking about their experiences, and I think it's I'm really excited to be in the position to offer that to people, and thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you for being part of that.
Amazing. Pleasure.
Let me ask you one more question before we finish up. One more official question. How can people find you? Where, if people want to find you online or in Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, is that quite easy? Do you have a website?
No, not yet, but it's in process. So we're building it because I have some ideas of changing how I'm gonna be, how we're gonna function in general. I'm a little bit tired of this Facebook thing, and I would like to give people something more than that. So we're gonna develop a web page that is gonna be very cool. But in general now, Instagram, Facebook still. in Instagram maybe a little bit more than Facebook, but I try to be active in both of them. And Instagram is G Kreivenas, and Facebook Gus Kreivenas. I've opened the athlete account on Facebook that I will start loading with some let's say exercises and realizations and suggestions about depth training. So it's Mindaugas Kreivenas, an athlete. It's in Facebook, and basically I've opened it last season, but now I'm gonna start filling it with content because also it takes time, and so now I'm going to do less teaching and focus more on training and just creating content that I would like to share to people. So to make sure that there's more quality content, let's say, that allows people to grow and expand. But most of the time I live in Daha, but now there's some big changes in my life. So I'm going to spend a lot of time in St. Petersburg also. So I'll be traveling a lot, and so basically just through Facebook, through Messenger, through Instagram, to catch me.
Right. Well, I'll make sure to link to all those pages in the show notes. So if anyone wants to find out more about you or get in touch, you can do that there. Well, I'm really happy that we got the chance to do this one before you become like too famous and you don't have any time to talk to me either.
No.
So I'm going to come and hunt you down in Dahab next year anyway, and
yes,
you'll have
more
to
than
talk
welcome.
to me.
Let us know.
Yeah.
It would be really nice to catch up. Yeah, the skoro. Oh, sorry. I will see you soon. I just came up and I read something in Russian and I started talking in Russian.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not ready for that yet.
Okay, cheers. No. Yeah, cheers, man.
Okay.
Big hugs. All the best, and we stay tuned. Yeah.
Okay, take it easy, Gus. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Gus Kreivenas. It was a long and sprawling exploration of his thoughts and feelings on the world of freediving and a few of the branches that grow from it. Gus is truly a rising star. We can expect to see him as a top performer in this year's field, and who knows where the future will take him. Of course, if he really wants those world records, he has me to contend with, maybe one day. Okay, don't forget that the Q&A section will be starting from episode 35, the start of season 2, a year 2, so I am ready to accept those questions. Any question about freediving whatsoever, if I can't answer it, then I will get a contact of mine in the freediving world to answer it for me. If you would like to submit questions, please send them to me through the contact page on the website or direct message me on Facebook, where I can be found as Donny Mac. I'm going to be having a bit of a rest for the start of June. May was just insane. Expect episode number 32 to appear around the 12th or 13th of June. The guest will be the delightful and deeply knowledgeable Emma Farrell. Until that day comes, dive safe.